Hi. Yeah, it's 1 o'clock. Yeah, because you've gone forward, didn't you? Our clock's not going forward yet. Yeah, they're picture books that I've designed myself. Hello, Chunky. How you doing? It's just all about an autistic kitten. I'm very glitchy. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry? Yes, I did. I did all the illustrations myself, but I cannot draw to save my life. So yeah. So it's the first book's just basically an introduction into her life, all that. So it's more like saying how autistic uh, kids like cope, but basically it's around my experience with autism, as it's all on different spectrums, isn't it? So it's just all my experience, yeah, because I've obviously both my kids are autistic and they're both on different sides of the spectrum. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Because they're basically all about like stuff that we've actually gone and done. So I've written two so far, and the second one is about a trip that we went swimming. So it's how my youngest actually coped in the swimming bath and how crowded it can be. So that one came out in December. I've been working on one called going to the safari park, but that one's just taken me a bit longer because of obviously lockdown and the schools were closed before and that. Plus, it's like, yeah, it's like a zoo, but the animals just like walk around, so you like drive around in your car. Yeah, yeah. There's one down the road from me, so that's the one that we normally go to. So it's like based on a time that we went there. So it's just the illustrations just gets me down because I can't draw. It's like I can write the book in a day, and then my friend Mike, he will edit it for me because he's a script writer, and then he will bring back, because my dyslexia, it's always good for someone else to actually like proofread it for me. So it's just the illustrations because I'm not a drawer, so it takes me a while to get those all down. So it could take me about probably a day. Yeah. Well, what I do as well is when I actually draw a character, I actually keep that character and I make it into a template. So then all I have to do is like add it again into a page, so I don't have to redraw it because I know I can never get them all the same again. So if I do like a certain expression, I just save it so I can just re-add it. Yeah, I'm not a drawer. I'm not an artist. If I had to draw it on paper, I could not do it. Amazon. Yeah. Oh, Paul, oh, they're saying they can't hear you. Yeah, yeah, you can. Yeah, all the links are on my page. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, Bats is saying he can't hear you. Bats is saying he can't hear you. Because I wanted to get autism out there because my kids are having a really hard time, and well, my youngest not so much, but my oldest, she got really really bullied a lot, and she was actually suicidal at one point, and she was only 11 when she was suicidal. So it's nice to actually get more understanding in younger children, because that's what they're set for like preschool kids and that. So it's just like Peppa Pig's kind of thing, but it still makes it more fun, just saying, oh, this is the troubles that you have when you go out. So obviously some kids with autism can't even speak, but mine both can. And obviously, but with crowds, my youngest can't cope with. Oh, they can't hear you still.
Yay! I think it was because I was going through the voice mod program, and maybe the voice mod program wasn't running, so I just completely skipped it off that, and that seems to have fixed it. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Well, you've been hearing her side of it anyways, which is the interesting side of the conversation. So you've been basically saying how you've been, you have this awesome children's book. I think it's great because it's something parents can get for their kids so that their kids can learn about autism at a young age and relate to their peers more that have it, you know? So that maybe other kids don't have that situation that your daughter did.
Yeah, because it broke my heart, but at least she actually had the confidence to tell me.
Yeah.
So it actually broke my heart, and I took her to the doctors, and then she was diagnosed June. But it's obviously she's more on the Asperger's side. Mm-hmm. So with my youngest, she's got the aggression, and she's ginger as well, so she's got the fiery temper, which don't help. So it's like, so she's 11 now, but my youngest, but she's been under people since she was 2 years old, and they're still working on her diagnosis because there's too much to her and she's too complex. Mm-hmm. So because she's got the ADHD, OCD, and what's it called? ODD. It's like objective defiance disorder or something like that. So they're more cautious with her. Mm-hmm. And plus it's harder to get the diagnosis out of girls. So Sophie in my book is basically more focused on her, but there is another character called Catherine who I put as Sophie's friend, and that is based on my oldest daughter. Mm-hmm. So I can try and show like both their sides of autism.
Right. Well, that's excellent. I'm glad that like you made that book. That's an excellent resource for parents to have. I'm definitely gonna have to have one for our household for sure. Yeah, so where can you get it on Amazon? Do you have a link for it?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I'll grab it up.
Sorry, I should have gotten that before our interview, but I was just so busy this week I didn't think to.
Well, I sent you the YouTube, didn't I? So, it's easier than typing it all out. Mm-hmm. Where do you want me to stick it on?
You can Discord? Stick it right in the Twitch chat.
This one is for my second book. That one's Sophie the Autistic Kitten Go Swimming.
And so do you have you have a whole series of like the things that the kitten does and stuff?
Yeah, I said I'm working on going to the safari park at the moment, and then the next one will be Sophie the Autistic Kitten Goes to School. And I'll be using like some of the tactics that they use on my daughter to try and calm her down.
Right.
Because she's in a mainstream school, public school, not a special needs.
That's excellent. That's awesome because it has all the different the ways that she has to relate to life and stuff, and the different challenges and stuff that you guys might go through.
Yeah.
And how you overcome them.
Quite hard at times, like coping. I've that's the second one. It's a bit longer. The first one, I've literally broken down in tears and ended up rocking in the corner sometimes myself, because sometimes it is stressful days. But I've been literally around it all since I was 12 because my brother's autistic as well.
I can't imagine. That must be very difficult for your family. But it's awesome that at least she, like, you know, there's that bond between you, that she was able to come to you and talk to you when she was having difficulties, you know? So at least you know that you're doing something right, that she comes to you.
Yeah. But now that she's a teenager, my oldest, she doesn't really talk to me much, but that's just with all teenagers, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say the objective defiance thing doesn't sound very good paired with incoming teenagerdom as well, you know? But, you know, teenagerdom doesn't last, you know? They aren't teenagers forever.
Yeah. I said, yeah, that's my youngest one who has that. But obviously she needs settling down a bit because of the aggression. I'm lucky if I don't get slapped all around the face when he's in a bad mood. But it's good, like I said, for people to get more awareness of autism, because it is actually coming out more in programs I see and books.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. It's a lot more being discussed in, like, things, and I think, like, did Sesame Street have... I don't know, like, Sesame Street's been including a lot of, like, different things like that, and a lot of, like, kids shows have been including, like, you know, a lot more characters with autism or whatever to kind of, you know, get it out there for other kids to see and understand before they go to school with them, so they understand.
Chunky's, but I have a friend with 3 autistic children. I see sometimes that they go through, just wanted to say how lovely it is. You bring in more light to it via your books. Oh, thank you, Chunky. In a way as well, I don't want to, like, show, like, negative stuff as well. So I'm just trying to show, like, in the books, it just takes sometimes a cuddle or something for them to get happy, and that you can just go about and, like, point at something to try and distract them. And so I'm hoping in a way it doesn't just show negative stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's not like everything's negative, it's just different, you know? Like, I know on Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, the Owl, I think, kind of has some of those characteristics. I don't know if they've ever said that O's autistic, but he definitely kind of shows some characteristics, and, like, so when things are different, he starts to, like, kind of have a little bit of, like, almost a breakdown, but then they stop and they, like, you know, they work with him on it, you know, like when he does a sleepover and he's like, oh, this isn't like at home I like things like, you know, my bed is like this, and they're like, you know, but the way that they approached it wasn't like it was like a negative thing, it was just something that was different, and then they handled it and then they moved on, you know, and it was kind of nice. I don't know.
Yeah, that's really good, because obviously they thrive on things being the same and routine and all that stuff, whereas my youngest has never stopped at anybody else's house or goes anywhere because she can't cope with it. So she didn't even want to go to school today because it's always too loud.
Right.
But you just have to try and deal with that sort of stuff. So she wears ear defenders and to try and drown out a bit of the noise.
Yeah, it's like a sensory overload kind of thing or something.
Yeah. The teachers just have to try and remove her from that situation.
Well, it sounds like at least that they're definitely working on that. Let's see what Steve-O says. Knowledge is power. Same with a lot of things. When you don't understand something, it's normal to fear it. The more people understand these conditions, the better for society. Definitely, Steve-O, definitely.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I agree. Because the amount of dirty looks I get when I'm out and about and Alyssa's having like an overload, or she can't cope, or because she can't stand a baby crying, so if she hears a baby crying, she'll like go in a ball. And the amount of dirty looks I get off, and it's mostly adults, really.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, I don't need this right now, and people judging you, and some of them have to make a comment that makes things worse.
Right.
So it's like, please just leave me alone.
Yeah, it's like, I don't need your judgment on top of my stress. Like, because they just don't understand, though. That's unfortunate. But the thing is, sometimes with adults, you know, they're never going to learn. But at least with the kids, we can work on helping the next generation, you know. They definitely seem to be a lot more of an understanding generation coming out these days.
I hope so as well, because it's like, I literally have no friends that I actually associate with, because nobody like wants to come up and talk to me and give me the time of day, because some people just like think I'm a bad parent. But my daughter, my oldest one, she is so intelligent. She's actually been published herself in Young Writers 4 times.
Oh, wow.
Her work and everything. And she does online fan fiction for, I think it's Persona or My Hero Academia. Which one? And obviously she's doing streaming herself, which helps her confidence. And she's also been trying to do voice acting as well for games. So even though she has like a screen, because she could be doing this all from home, at least she's actually doing more than what some people who haven't got special needs. She's actually trying to figure out, and actually she's getting out there, and she's loves her acting and all that stuff. So I think it's her way of escaping her brain sometimes.
Does like the separation of the screen kind of help her like be able to have that level of interaction she might not otherwise be able to have, or something maybe?
Yeah, because she can't really socialize. She used to, when she started high school, she used to literally just hide underneath her coat. But now she's got a few friends. She stopped doing that. But she does find it easier to associate with people and do stuff if there's a screen between them.
Oh, and Steve-O has a question for you. He says, what level of support do you get from the teachers in school? Do you feel the teachers are educated enough to support your daughter?
With my oldest, she has her own key worker, but she didn't get that until she was in high school. But with my youngest, she doesn't really get the support she needs because it's funding. And they don't want her in a special needs school because she has the brains. Like, she's very intelligent and she can do the work if she does it. But she works better if she has the one-to-one. But the schools just do not have the support and the funding to do that.
Right.
They don't have the assistants or the teachers. Well, they're struggling for teachers anyway.
And getting a tutor is an expensive thing, so it's not like you can just, like, go do that or anything like that. So.
Yeah, and plus, she associates, her thing is school, home is home. Mm-hmm. So she won't even do homework. It's just like, that's it. When she's out of school, it's out of mind, out of sight sort of thing. So yeah, through lockdown, it was so hard to try and get her to do her work because she couldn't go in. But so I had to try and educate her myself, and it was really hard, especially when you don't have a clue on the maths. You're like, I haven't done this for like so long, and they've like changed everything since I was in school. I mean, when I'm like 36 now, so I left school very, very long time ago.
Yeah.
So it's really hard, and I was absolutely useless, especially when it comes to English. Like I said, I'm dyslexic myself, so I really struggled in school. So trying to educate my kids was really hard for me. And I was lucky if I got 10 minutes with her special needs worker 3 times a week, just for help with the school.
Yeah, it sounds like we actually probably graduated high school like about the same time. Or whatever your equivalent. I don't think, do they call it high school in England? I'm not sure. But,
but we leave it when we're 16 and then we go to college.
Oh, so then you did even earlier than I did.
Yeah. Yes, we leave when we're 16, then we go to college and then university if you want, yeah.
And yeah, that was a long time ago, like, too long ago to try to...
long time ago, 2002, I left high school.
Yeah, same, actually. Class of 02.
Yeah.
But
that's it. I think over time the teachers get to know them as they seem very willing to give her support, but there is only so much that they are allowed to do in school. That is very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in the mainstream school.
Yeah, like how they can't, he's saying that they can't physically intervene.
She's going to throw herself to the ground or crash anything. They aren't allowed to physically intervene, which is very... Actually, they are. They actually have my permission that they can pick her up and move her out of the situation if it's unsafe for her. So they do have my permission to do that, but it depends on the situation and who's about. They have to always make sure if she has a fit, then she has to make sure she's safe and others are safe. But she has actually stopped throwing tables and chairs, which is good as well. So she has grown on that.
Mm. I can't even imagine. I wouldn't be able to deal with that. Like, I'm such a tiny person. If my kid started throwing chairs, I'd just be hiding.
Yeah, the amount of stuff I've had thrown at me. And when she was younger, she actually gave me a black eye, my youngest did. Try explaining that to people.
Well, you're a strong mother, and you're definitely a hardworking mother and doing what you can to make sure that your daughter is, gets the help that she needs and stuff, and also still, is a person and has fun, isn't held back by it, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. I always try to get the most support and everything. It's like her CAMS worker. It's been months and I'm on the phone and I'm always like chasing them, and it's really hard. But obviously they have to see loads and loads of people, but it is frustrating when you can't get hold of someone for the support, especially when you're like in the middle of the road, because it's like she loves pushing me. If she's stressed out, she will push me in the road. It's just a good job that cars aren't coming, but one day I know probably a car will come and something nasty will happen. But it's just their aggression. She just can't get it out any other way. So it's just that physical that she has to think about doing it. It just happens.
Well, it sounds like they're going to be able to work with her too on figuring out ways to, work with her aggression and stuff.
Yeah. But high school, she starts in September, and that's going to be harder because it's going to be a bigger school. Because at the moment, it's only 2 years per class. But then if you think there's going to be probably about, I think there's like 3,000 children in the high school, so that's going to be a lot harder for her. And it's the transitions, like moving from one classroom to another. I know she's just going to end up on a ball and not going to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be hard for her in high school. And then definitely. I just know that she's probably going to have a meltdown and lash out at the wrong person, and something bad's going to happen. So I always have all this stress and worries all the time as well. That's another reason why I want to educate people with my books at a young age, so that they can be more understanding and hopefully avoid stuff like this.
Yeah.
Because
not upset her, they know how to interact better.
Yeah, because the suicidal rate is actually higher in autistic people as well. So I'm hoping to try and help in some way. I know that even if that it might not go to loads of people, but if I can just try and reach one little child, and then they can like try and make friends with somebody with special needs or something, then it will be worth it to me if it just hits one child.
So I want to get some of your books and bring them out to my booth and stuff, because then maybe somebody will buy it and bring it home, and their family will be able to learn about that.
Yeah, that's why I've tried to make it like with the cats, because obviously everybody loves the cats.
Yeah.
And in the kind of a Peppa Pig style as well, like just doing one thing at a time. Oh, today we're going to do this and go on this adventure and all this. And plus it's all based on actual real life things that has happened. Oh, bless.
Yeah, it's okay, Blade.
Yeah, bless him.
We can still be happy hype even with the serious conversation. There's room
We're
for
all
both.
Friends here. We're all happy. He wants to know why I'm not a kitty.
Oh, yeah, you're not an anthropomorphic cat today.
Yeah, I'm always a cat. My plastic surgery got reversed, as Steve-O would say.
Did you see
but
there's a whole
did you say you're writing a children's book, though?
What's that?
Didn't you say you're writing a children's book?
Yes. It's called The Pirate of Pennsylvania. And
nice.
I don't want to get too much into it, but a friend of mine had actually he had the idea many years ago, and we talked about it and talked about expanding it into an actual children's book and stuff like that. And then about a year ago, actually, I think it was a year in April, he passed away. And I'm still not entirely sure of the circumstances. We called him Crazy Mike, and I'm not entirely... He was actually sober at the time, but I'm not sure if he'd done something stupid or if somebody had been out to get him or what. But he ended up dying under weird circumstances that were originally ruled as homicide. Anyways, so I wanted to kind of bring his story to life because it's a really great story, basically about playing outside with your friends and not getting sucked into technology and stuff like that, basically, and bringing back like the fun of youth. And it was always a great story that I thought was just strange coming out of such a crazy person. And so I'm going to finish writing it and see if I can get that out there. But it's going to be in a little bit. What do I know about Pennsylvania? I don't know tons, but I could definitely get some help from you. My friend was from Scranton, so it takes place right outside of Scranton. Yeah, I saw that recently, Midgeworth, that you're from Pennsylvania. So it's about where Midgeworth's from, which is a very actually lovely state. I drove through there once, and it was all just like hills and picturesque little cabins and forest and stuff. Yeah, Scranton is the middle of nowhere. It's a pretty crap place from what Crazy Mike says, but he loved it at the same time.
Well, the guy Mike, who actually helps me and reads my books over to me, he was the one who actually inspired me to actually get down and do them. Because during lockdown, he started his own web series called Max and Friends. And then he's been doing all that, and he's actually got bipolar. And so he's been helping me out and reads them, and his web series are absolutely brilliant. And he wrote a book during one of his episodes, and I bought it, and it was really funny. It was called Why I Wrote This $1 Million Book. But I haven't seen him about for a while because he's been busy and that. But because I met him on Reddit, so it's quite nice that I met him, because then he actually gave me the willpower to actually do it and the motivation. So when he used to stream, I used to just, while he was making his web series, I would actually just sit here and do my illustrations while he was doing it. So we was kind of creating this thing together. And he said if I keep writing them, then he might actually turn them into little cartoon series for me as well.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Obviously, he lives in Seattle, so sometimes it's with the time difference, I don't get to talk to him much.
Oh yeah, that's a big time difference, because that's a few hours behind me. For them, it's still pretty early in the morning.
So I say he's got a lot on his plate, because he does a lot of editing for people, and he's got a baby on his way as well. So I'm looking. So hopefully, we will be able to work in the future on something like that, because he loves my books, and it was quite an honour that he actually said that he would like to turn them into cartoons for the little kids one day.
Oh, definitely. That's awesome. Yes, I'm aware of my Blade Runner. We fought to get the sound working, and so at that point I just said fuck it and left it.
Yeah, nobody could hear her at the start.
So I was just like, whatever, it echoes, at least you can hear me. I'll fix it after. Thank you, though. This is my new overlay is still kind of figuring itself out. But it looks like my chat's working, though, and everything's looking nice. You got a rainbow around your head.
You always have issues, though, with the first time you use a new setup. Always happens to me.
Oh, definitely. And you know what's really annoying is that last night I was even playing with it and testing it and recording and then watching the recordings back and stuff, but you still can't perfect things like what's going to happen when I go live on Discord with you, and then what's hooked up to what is suddenly going to fucking not work.
Yeah, definitely.
But
not a stream without tech issues yet.
yeah, seriously. For real. It's not like we're Critical Role with like 20,000 people watching and we have it like perfect. You know. But we do have dragons.
I think I'd be nervous if there was that many people watching.
Yeah, right? Like what would you do?
Yeah. I would have gone, no camera, just have my voice.
Well, you don't have to worry about that with mine. We got a solid 5 viewers.
Yeah. I'd definitely have been my kitty face rig then.
I was just happy because I was looking and I was like, oh wow, my average is officially 6 now, which is double what I needed to hit affiliate. So for me, that was like hitting a goal. I'm like, oh, I'm double what I needed for affiliate. Yay, you know. That's all that matters.
My average has gone down a load, but I'm not too worried about it. So, because I've not been able to stream and all that stuff, but obviously I've had family issues and I was poorly myself. So I said I wrote my 3rd book. It's got been about a month ago now. But normally it would be out, but family life gets in the way and stuff. But I need to get hold of the school to say, can I use this stuff in it before she breaks up or it closes again, so I can have that stuff.
Well, family definitely comes first, you know.
Back up while I'm working on the others.
And the thing is too, when you don't stream regularly, it's hard to keep the viewers like on a regular too. Like if you don't have a schedule, which is hard to do with family.
Yeah, and plus it's like on my last stream, my youngest was off ill, and she was watching me, and she just kept trolling me with my sound alerts. I knew it was her, but you know what you gonna do. So I was like, I'm changing that one to cost money now, so she can't keep doing that.
There you go. Then you might make a couple bucks out of it too.
Yeah. I knew it was her because she kept doing it anonymously, like, and I was just like, but I would have to act cool and to say, thank you, anonymous, please do stop it. And then, but she kept carrying on. But
to be fair, if you were a kid and your mom was trying to do something of her own, you'd have to tease her, because that's how kids are. They don't let you have lives.
If you want to get one, an actual proper one.
Well, I'm glad you were able to join us, Kitty. Is there anything else you want to tell us about your Kitty book series? Maybe for those who weren't here for the beginning, I shared the link. But if you want to like just recap what your series is about for those just joining us.
Yeah, basically my books is about a cat called Sophie, and it's just trying to say the day-to-day life of what autistic children go through. The first book you can actually watch on my YouTube. Shall I put the YouTube link on?
Yeah, if you have it, share it in the chat.
And that one is actually narrated, let me do it, by my oldest daughter. So you can actually see, but the first book is just an induction into her life, and then my second book is all about going swimming and how she copes with being in a busy swimming pool. And obviously I'm just working on my third one now, which is about going to the safari park.
And that's gotta be difficult too, because you can't, it's not like you can just go swimming like, you know, by yourselves necessarily, unless you're like rich and have your own swimming pool and stuff. You've got to deal with like that big social situation and stuff.
Yeah, especially when it's a fun pool with like the slides and everybody being about. But it's stuff that you need to do though and get out there, because you can't just hide. I think I've only had like one family holiday, and we just spent the whole time in the quiet swimming pool because she loved it, and because everything else was a bit more stressful. So you try and get the easy stuff and the more relaxing stuff, especially when you're on holiday.
Right. Well, it sounds like an awesome book series for all parents of small children, really, so they can all understand, what their peers are going through that are on the spectrum. I'm definitely going to have to get a copy for our family as well, for my little guys to read.
Great, thank you.
And for all the viewers, you definitely need to check out her stuff. Here's one of the links to her books. You could probably find the rest through that. Oh, here's another link. I'll copy it and share that one as well for those who missed it. And yeah, thank you for joining us today, Kitty. Everybody check out her streams as well and her books.
Great, thank you.